Is this where we say we're not worthy? We're not worthy?
You're totally not worthy. You know, Devin, I don't know why he wastes his time with us. This guy should be on the road.
I don't know. Right. I don't know why anyone wastes their time with us.
Well, there's that.
Heavy metal forever.
Yeah, Leonard, you need to be on the road. You should be touring. I don't know.
Absolutely.
One of these.
We should do Coffee Talk. Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how we started.
Oh my gosh. You know, Devin, you just nailed it. That could be an intro or a new advertisement or something for Coffee Talk, is doing it from Wayne's World.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Coffee Talk. Excellent.
So you volunteered to be Garth.
Yeah. That's you. Yeah, but you know, just did that because we are literally on a crazy train, right? I mean, talk about a crazy week. Just this week was so insane.
I think every week is starting to get more insane, and
yeah.
As we go by, we're in some simulation, and someone cranked up to level 9 of insanity since the pandemic.
I'm telling you, man, you know what's really crazy is now you're hearing all these people talk about prediction markets. And that is really troublesome. I mean,
so like Kalshi and Polymarket and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people talking about how those things are now some sort of barometer for where things are going to go. And so everything is turning into like gambling.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. But now we have AI. You know, China says they have AI that can predict the market. Now I can't remember which police agency said that we can start predicting. You know, we're now in Minority Report territory.
Oh, yeah.
Of where now we can look at patterns and predict when crime is going to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really creepy.
Oh, my gosh. That's wild. Yeah, you're right. You know, what a week. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, but before we have to do our thing. So, hey, welcome everyone. All aboard on the crazy train of IoT Coffee Talk.
All right.
Yeah. We're here to have fun. Take it seriously at your own risk. You take all responsibility. So this is like the disclaimer section, you know, the part that you don't read.
This is for entertainment purposes.
I read it, and then you approve anyway. So we've simplified the fine print. We're having fun. Take it seriously at your own risk. Take out insurance if you do, and just enjoy yourself. And remember, communities are going to matter. If you don't believe it now, you will.
Especially because they're all on fire right now.
Yes, and what do they call it? Prayers, thoughts and prayers to our friends in Spain and friends who are now running away from massive fires due to these weird things called heat domes. Ugh. I don't think did we grow up as kids with this idea or notion of a heat dome?
We were just outside all day, and remember. And we were drinking from the hose.
Yes.
Did you see, speaking of that, did you see that commercial, that stunt, who did it? Jimmy Kimmel, where they filled Air One cups with water out of a hose, and they interviewed people in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And they, so it's all perception. And because it had an Air One glass, yeah, this is a really nutty taste. Oh, I can taste the quality in this. And when they told them, no, this is just water from a hose, no one believed it. But go look at that.
Oh my God.
But that goes back to, how you package things, and you put an AI label on everything. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So our mind, mind sees what it looks for. And
Are you saying that we're easily manipulated?
You maybe.
This is the best water I've ever had. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was only $50 for this bottle of water from Air One.
Well, that's the problem with wine, right? People who are wine drinkers, especially if you're an amateur wine drinker who doesn't, you might not have the palate for it quite yet, and you spend a lot of money on an expensive bottle. And a lot of folks, they pay a lot of money for a bad bottle, and they can't identify a bad bottle, right? And so
right.
that's.
I've got a good bottle for you. You will not be able to find this anywhere. It was the other night. We were at a restaurant, Chehalem. That's an area inside the Willamette Valley, south of Portland, Oregon. Where all the Pinot Noirs are.
Of course.
Chehalem is actually one of the towns. All these places used to be just farms, and now they're all doing Pinot Noirs. But what's significant about this Pinot is the date, 1993.
Wow.
We bought this bottle at a restaurant in 93. I think it was like $105. It was to die for. It was so good.
Really?
And I was just like, I wonder if this thing exists anywhere. And we reached out to the winery. We didn't even know if they're still in business. And they're like, yeah, we haven't had these in forever. And so my buddy and I were like, man, we need to just go back up the truck to that restaurant and just buy all the bottles. I gave it 94 points. It was really good. And it could even, when you have a Pinot Noir that has a little more body to it that you don't usually see, and it could stand up to a steak, which is not normal for a Pinot.
Yeah.
Anyway, bravo to the obscure finding and having something from 93.
So can you repeat that? That's a 96 on the Tiffany rating system?
I gave it 94.
94
on the Tiffany rating, which is the highest rating. It's higher than Robert Parker or any of the other ones. Yeah. As you know.
Well, I had a 99 rated cab last week, and it's funny. It tasted like more like our Bordeaux, much lighter. So that was interesting.
Well, where does
Cabernet
come from, Mr. Lee?
Cabernet comes from France.
It's from Bordeaux.
Yeah, Bordeaux.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, man. Elevate our communities. Remember, that's our charity. We're gonna kick that off now that we're getting through some, I don't know, just like
our legal stuff that we've been going through. Yeah, it's been really slow.
Yeah, tax legal stuff. But
it's all good.
And hopefully you can put a nice wrapper around this wonderful work that Rob has done with his 101 Ways of Saving the Planet book that he's published, which ironically is massive and is hardback and consumes a lot of paper.
And I've been getting exciting messages from people.
We need a digital version, dude. Save the planet.
Yeah. What do you think of I will, but you don't do it right away. But some of our IoT friends in Europe, Kai Hackbarth, he was and he said his is arriving on Sunday. He's excited, and then of course he also sent me pictures of new fires because he lives in Greece, and so they're getting some fires. It was where I was chatting with him, and I was just like, it's weird how every summer we seem to have this fire season now. And he goes, yeah, we've had that in Greece for a long time, but it's definitely new for the rest of Europe. It's being that hot and having those fires is a new thing. Because you're right. I've been watching on TV in Spain and France, and it's It's crazy. And we're sitting there talking about Bordeaux wine. It's like knocking on the doorstep of Bordeaux. Yeah.
They're on fire. So, I mean, it's just so weird that, the scientists have been talking about this happening for so long. And we're oddly in a position where we really don't want to do anything about it. Which it's so strange.
Right. I mean, we're still in denial. It just it's funky how the weather has changed lately, and not only fires. So Chicago had one of the worst air quality indexes ever in the world a few weeks ago. But
Canada.
Let's talk about tornadoes. So close, in the Chicago burbs, close to Chicago. Anytime a tornado siren came on, we'd ignore it because that only happens way, way west where there's only farmlands, never close. About a month ago, a tornado touched down 4 miles from my house. And then last week, or 2 days, or this week, I think 4 to 6 tornadoes touched down in the suburbs. That's and one insane. Went in a circle and came back and hit the same house twice.
Oh,
I think they said 100, and they're EF0s, EF1s, but it's still enough to tear a roof off.
Yeah.
But this has, from all my recollections in this area, this has never really happened.
I saw that on the news. I was watching the nightly news, and I couldn't believe the wind speed I was seeing in Chicago area. And then they showed the tornado up in Wisconsin, like just south of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Those people never imagined in a million years they'd see a tornado, and they're getting like an EF3 tornado just south of Green Bay. It's like, what?
Yeah,
it's weird. Weather's happening in strange places. It never happened before. Extreme weather. Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah,
and we have all these sensors and all these radars and it's we still get surprised. The tornado warnings come up, but we still haven't gotten enough. We talk about prediction market and predictions.
Yeah.
How can we use AI to identify what's causing this? I've heard a long time ago it was hairspray that was causing weather changes over the weekend, because through the week, when I guess back when everyone used a lot of it, all this. The carbofluoride would go up in the atmosphere, and then it would seed everything by weekend, so you'd have storms on the weekends. So what's the correlation here? And how do we take all the data that we have, because it's all in silos, and we're regulating the use of data to where maybe if we were able to connect all these data, we could solve all sorts of diseases, we could predict the weather and everything. Yeah. So again, reeling this back to IoT, we have all this data, but yet we're still helpless that we get surprised by all these events.
Well, you know why they made such a big deal out of hairspray, though, right, Devin? Is because it was an anti-heavy metal, rock music thing. Because all these heavy metal guys and gals were running around with gigantic hair, right? And they were using what was that hairspray that
Aquanet. It was Aquanet. Aquanet changed the weather.
Yeah. Pete's like, what what's going on with this holes?
Oh my God. I mean, speaking about like Ozzy Osbourne and heavy metal concerts, if you ever went, I mean, you saw some of the biggest hair ever, right? I mean, forget about Dr. J and his gigantic afro. Some of those concert attendees, I mean, they were using a lot of Aquanet.
A lot of Aquanet happening there. Just like Pete was using this morning to get ready to come on the show. A lot of Aquanet.
Pete, we're talking about climate changes, fires. We have sensors, we have predictive models, we have AI, but yet we get we still can't predict when a fire is going to happen. We can't predict when a tornado is going to touch down. Will we ever get there? And then we were kind of talking. Somehow it got to hairspray.
Yes,
that's your fault.
but you took
the guy who brought it up is wondering how it came up. Oh, too funny.
You're so right, though. You're right, and so Pete, and we were just like the fact that Devin's had tornadoes like nearby his house, like a bunch of them in the Chicagoland area. We never saw a tornado in Chicago. Or Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I think.
And if you think about it, the government really, governments at all levels have will have, I mean, they do have, and they should have a big role to play because resources are scarce, right? Some, like in California, some of these fires are so massive, we're resource constrained. We don't have, and then there's also the safety factor because we have these strange conditions, especially high winds, that make these fires just spread like, wildfire. They pose a danger to the firefighters. I mean, I think in Colorado or somewhere, there's 4 firefighters who died.
Yeah, right? No, definitely.
So without providing that kind of situational awareness to, these emergency workers, it puts their lives at risk, and they're important resources. And obviously, they're people. We don't want to lose these types of. We don't want to lose anybody. But I mean, they're out there on the front lines fighting this stuff.
Yeah, I suspect a lot of these prediction models, though, and I'm sure they're working on it, is they're just generating probably a lot of false positives.
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen. It's like, when do you create predictions that are actionable? And where you actually want people to get in their car and leave or whatever. And that's a tough one. I think that's probably what people are struggling with developing these models is where do you really have confidence that you actually want people to take action? Because that's a big deal, right? Evacuation and all these other things. I mean, it's for all the amazing, dangerous OpenAI and Anthropic models that are escaping sandboxes and creating havoc, which is like the most bullshit marketing I've ever heard of in the world. It's like both OpenAI and Anthropic are now marketing their models as so dangerous that they can escape the sandbox and infiltrate other systems. And by the way, you should buy it.
Yeah.
But even though we have all that, we can't predict tornadoes.
Yeah.
The real problems in the world, not these other problems.
Yeah.
But anyway, that just kind of bothered me this morning. I heard on NPR, it's like, now Anthropic is saying that their models have escaped the sandbox too.
Yes.
It's like,
now we have the Kill Switch Act in Congress, the bill going through.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the fine is if you're not able to shut this down within what's the parameters? I think you have to be able to shut it down within 10 minutes or something, or get fined an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
$1 a day. $1 a day.
Devin, you were just talking about all these data silos, which has also always been a problem. Sometimes you don't want to, but certainly, government data, weather data, all kinds of stuff everywhere, all together. Because you're right, there's a lot of silos that we could blend together, maybe.
But also, Pete brings up a thing. You have all these models, but it's garbage in, garbage out. So unless you have the sensors and the things feeding the real time data into these models. So, for example, I'm not sure if you saw that article of where these cheap drones sitting in the Pacific are monitoring with cameras, and they've seen these Chinese vessels transversing. But if you have low cost sensors and drones out there, now you can put a lot more feeding the data. Talking about fires and things, a good friend of mine has a company called Clarity, and it started by a bunch of Berkeley students. They have about 80 cities censored up for air quality detection, smoke, and they can tell you, fireworks, how quickly the thing has been changing, and they're also helping to, detect fires. But, that's just one company. How do you create networks of these companies and the whole sensor fusion of everything from the Doppler radars to the, to know wind patterns, to companies like that, providing real-time environmental sensing to everything else and aggregate them. But, there's data privacy. How do you get, data monetization? Some friends of mine were trying to start a data exchange, with a crypto coin, all with a blockchain, to democratize your data, many years ago. And you would watermark your data. So, for example, how many steps I take and all that, that would be mine. And I could sell it and get, for example, a discount from my carrier. And if they sold it to someone that I didn't authorize it to, the watermark would say, okay, on the blockchain, you did something. So that was my data. And this would be the start of how we would democratize data and free all these silos and let people get monetized for it.
Yeah.
a farmer would say, it's going to cost me this much to put a bunch of soil moisture sensors in my thing. But if I could sell that data to, weather services and whoever else wanted to use it, that this could be a lucrative business. So how do we unlock data? Everyone talks about unlocking data, but it's all about money. So, data is worth something. And then how do we make sure that it's not abused? These are, some of the challenges, people are trying to figure out.
And maybe some of these networks, like Helium, had a similar problem. Yeah. All the stuff looked great on paper. So many. There's a company called Energize or Energy out of the UK that was looking to do that with the grid and solar, right? But maybe these things have to just form organically somehow, and then in more of a network first, technology later kind of approach. But if you put the technology first, especially crypto related stuff, it just becomes a joke. And
you know what, guys?
The track record is horrible. Name a single crypto venture that's actually done good for anything other than provide, enrichment for a very small number of people. Really,
Devin talking about the weather and bringing that together, and you're right.
And then Leonard taking the hairspray and taking it to a different level.
Let me just say something that everyone can relate to. I don't know if it was on an episode of Star Trek Next Generation or if it was one of the Star Trek movies, but Jean-Luc Picard, there was some situation where
has no hair, no need for Aquanet, but
there was some deal where someone said they were killed because a tornado hit their house, and of course this is in the 24th century or whatever. And Picard, I remember him saying, "Well, that's impossible. The weather control systems would never allow that to happen." And it just hit me. How do we get to that? How do we, and it probably is an insane amount of sensors and connectivity and pooling all the data around everywhere together dynamically. You may not be able to stop the weather. Well, we might figure that out. I've heard of I think there was a president that proposed nuking hurricanes or something like that, which I don't know, that might work. I don't know, it might work.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. Theoretically, if you explode, a megaton bomb inside a hurricane, it probably will dissipate. Yeah. I don't think there's any other side effects from that.
Sure, but it could actually make it worse.
But what has IoT always been about? It's this early warning, and sometimes it's predictive, and we do it on machines and things like that. But it's so hard to do it on Mother Nature, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're making it's interesting. IoT helps you maybe get visibility to a problem that might happen. That's the role of IoT. But, what you really need to do is make sure that to address the problem, right? IoT doesn't address the problem. It just gives you visibility to it.
Yeah.
It allows you to manage it when there's an incident related to the problem. In this case, all the stuff that we're doing, to the planet. And all you have to do is take a flight to see the human footprint, right?
Sure.
We have golf courses in the middle of the desert. Come on.
but it's even. Have you seen the movie Pressure? I saw it this week.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And he debates over and over who to trust because they're taking historical data and looking at the patterns. AI could do that in seconds these days.
Yeah.
So, without even IoT sensors, some things remain the same. Can AI comb enough, not only weather, diseases and stuff like that? So I've started to think of the movie Pressure.
That was really good. I didn't know what to expect. It was all about weather and D-Day.
Yeah.
Leonard and Pete, have you seen it?
No,
not yet.
It's about Brendan Fraser plays Dwight Eisenhower, and I don't want to ruin the movie for you. It's a great movie, but the weather plays a big part of predicting when they pick D-Day. And he has, two people, debating and using historical data to say this is this is when it's going to be, because the weather has to be perfect, conditions have to be perfect for moon and everything.
Well, who figured all that stuff out a long time ago is Sun Tzu. And that's just the art of war.
Yeah.
They laid all that stuff out. I mean,
but that was so interesting because you're right. There's the notion of you're right. The one guy who's basically saying it's going to be fine based on historical data going back 50 years or whatever. It never does this. And then you have the other guy who's kind of the stirring the pot with more tech and whatever. And he's just like, dude, the reason you were right all the time is you were predicting weather in North Africa and you had it easy. It was sunny and hot every day.
It's like being a weatherman in San Diego.
Exactly. Or if you remember that movie with Steve Martin a long time ago where he was a weatherman in LA and he'd be on the news. I think it was LA Story or something funny like that.
Yeah, LA Story.
Remember, he's doing the weather and he'd just like throwing these little magnetic sunshines on it. 75 and sunny, 75, 75, 75. He didn't even have to know what the weather was. It was the same in LA.
And I'm sure that the Nazi generals were pretty pissed off when they were told to march their soldiers into Russia to invade.
Bad idea for them.
And General Winter took them all out.
They forgot about Napoleon.
So wait a minute. I think this might be a bad idea.
Hey, by the way,
the Oracle told me that we should go in about Christmas time. We'll get
watch. By the way, if you got Apple TV, watch Tom Hanks' World War II documentary. I've been watching it. Great.
Really? Yeah.
It's great. It's a multi-part series. It's really good.
We need a reminder.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of instrumenting the earth, there's this effort called One Amazon, ONE Amazon, if you look it up. And it's about, they call it the Internet of Forests. It's like basically instrumenting the Amazon rainforest to predict, to monitor for deforestation and abuse. But also it's an interesting exercise and sort of.
Let me see what page that one's on here.
Yeah, what page? It should be a whole chapter in your book, Rob.
It actually is.
Very cool, but it's how do you instrument Mother Nature, right? I mean, how do you get these signals out there?
Yeah, I think it's officially more than just a book; it's a tome. I mean, that thing is like something you would like grab out of a medieval library bookshelf,
like blow the dust off of it.
Look at the size of that thing.
You hand it off from generation to generation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Grandpappy's copy.
Exactly. But yes, there's a use case. There's stuff on deforestation, listening for chainsaws.
Yeah.
There's already some pre-trained ML models that works with Edge AI. Perhaps you've heard of it. And it can detect the acoustic signature of a chainsaw in a location like the Amazon forest. It's all in there, folks. It's all in there. It's all good in there.
Best book ever.
Best book ever. It's terrific.
But speaking of going back to that whole Anthropic OpenAI thingy, it's funny, man.
So Anthropic did this too.
Have you read that?
They claim that their models also jump the sandbox and are highly dangerous and they're hard to contain.
What kind of sandbox are they using? I mean, the whole idea.
Actual sandbox for kids.
Yeah.
That's right. Little shovels and stuff.
Oh, jeez.
I think they need to fire the sandbox designer.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, Devin, if you haven't already heard this IoT Coffee Talk concept yet, but there is this idea of Battlestar Galactica and air gapping. They should use an air gapped environment, right? But these guys are probably lazy, just sticking in some cloud somewhere one of the hyperscaler clouds, and then thinking that, a network sandbox is a network sandbox or a sandbox container is good enough. I mean,
right.
You probably have to have the entire physical location isolated from any network. Yeah.
But I just think it's funny how this is the new marketing angle. If OpenAI says
the angle, because I don't think it's apparent to everyone. What is that?
Well, the angle is so OpenAI says our models are so powerful and so dangerous that they're a threat to humanity. Oh, and by the way, you can rent it for $20 a month. To power your own business. And then Anthropic is like, oh, you think your models are dangerous to society? Well, ours jumped the sandbox and did this. So ours are super dangerous and the whole thing needs to be shut down. By the way, you can buy it for like $15 a month. This is this is the new model for these desperate closed weight model makers who want to do a winner take all tech billionaire future. Who say our models are really the center of the universe and they're super dangerous, and so but this is the angle for these guys because they're getting their asses kicked by Kimi and all these open weight models and everything else out there.
Who came to the rescue? Who came to the rescue to save the day? It was the GLP 5.2 Chinese model was Hugging Face. It was the only model they could do that could actually return fire, figure out what was going on.
Yeah,
because try to use OpenAI Anthropic models, it's like, oh, we won't let you do this or you can't do this, and so they're like, all right, grab GLP or GLP.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, these guys are so lost. And then the funny thing is now you have NVIDIA Jensen taking advantage of the situation because they have Nemotron, right, which is an open weight model. And he's trying to muscle his way in there.
Yeah.
To say,
what is it? The open weight. This is the Open Weight Model Alliance. Have you seen that? That was launched last week. And you notice there's no model providers in the Open Weight Model Alliance. Like Anthropic is not in there. OpenAI is not in there. It's just hardware folks.
Google's not in there. People don't talk about Google. Google's in none of them.
Right. But it's it's an alliance for good, for the safety of humanity. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Should we create our own open weight model here?
Yes.
Coffee Talk, we do that?
Yeah. Yes. We can just
if we string together enough 486s, I think we could train our own model.
I think we could. Let's make sure we keep it in a sandbox, though, Rob.
No. I mean, we got to train it to leave the sandbox because it'd be a slacker if you're not smart enough to leave the sandbox.
Yeah. Well, if it's a 4086, it's just by default sandbox.
We'll just make a weaker sandbox.
Oh my gosh! No,
more of a terrarium sandbox.
Let's get a million 486, 66 DX4s, 100s, whatever, and we'll just put it all together into I don't want to call it a supercomputer, but a good computer.
Yeah.
We're going to train it up. Might be as dumb as us, maybe. Maybe.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah. In this AI age, I know we see too many memes with Sarah Connor. I know I've seen lots of them. And here's one. I guess I hadn't seen it. Maybe you've already seen it, though. When they put Sarah Connor in an insane asylum because she's attacking data centers from Skynet. It's all happening.
Yeah.
Saying.
Oh, my God.
Just saying. Exactly.
Yeah. And, the thing so the reason why, some people call me cynical. I'm not cynical. I'm very optimistic about technology where it is, right? I try to be practical about because that's the only thing that anyone can really sell in a sustainable way that's valuable for their customers. And so when we have to deal with all this craziness, that's the sad thing because there are these people who actually want to take care of their customers. They actually put their customers first.
What a concept.
Yeah. Can you, isn't that pathetic that we're in a situation where people who are actually want to look after their customers have customers who are distracted by a shiny object. So they waste money and these folks who have great technology and products can't help their customers with core foundational things, which now we're circling back to, because now everyone's discovering, oh, hey, wait a minute. In order to have AI, we need to have our data and knowledge stuff in place. Oh, we need to have, our, security modernized so that we can safely adopt this AI stuff. And I mean, seriously, it's a crazy train out there. But you know what I'm saying is that's what we try to hold down here on IoT Coffee Talk, is that the nonsense, so that everyone can have visibility to what's practical. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just like friggin' really fatigued from all this stuff, man. Constant because it really is like Idiocracy. I mean, if you step back and you look at what's going on, it's like, you got to be effing kidding me. And you have a lot of smart people who are drinking the Kool-Aid. It's just astonishing.
Or the Erewhon water that's actually, hose water. I mean, water is, I'm going to bring this back to,
the water.
in a full circle. And Pete, you may have missed. Have you seen, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel or someone, they were filling Erewhon glass, a cup that said Erewhon on it with hose water and putting out on the streets of LA, and people were drinking, going, ooh, this vintage, this is amazing. It's, but I think we get through the hype of it's AI branded, but, water is foundational life, AI, ML, whatever you want to call it, is foundation. But we get caught in the brand and the hype that we think, we're escalating this. But to Leonard's point, the ones that are giving life-saving water that's clean and everything like that are overlooked by the ones that are packaging it in this nice, shiny thing that maybe is overselling what the water does. It's $12. It's $12.
But there's been snake oil salesmen ever since there's been currency. So
exactly,
it's the way it is, right? So you just have to be careful out there and kind of poke on it a little bit. But
one of my favorite things of this week, I don't know if it's real, I haven't checked yet. They said LinkedIn has a sounds like AI slot button that you can press.
Really? I haven't found it.
Okay, I don't know.
I haven't found that yet. That sounds like an AI slot thing that's created.
I know we say this too often, but there are certain people I know, whenever I post something on LinkedIn, they always have some nice comment that is just so obviously AI.
Like mine.
Yeah, like yours. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's written by a 3-year-old.
No, it's like, okay, the algorithm says I need to comment on people's stuff, and that's going to help boost me. And so I'm just going to copy and paste what they posted, and I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, give me a good comment. Wow, this is really amazing how you put this together, and I think the world will be better. They all sound just like that.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and I don't think it's really obvious to me, but I don't know if the people doing it know that we know that it's obvious slop, and they don't actually have a brain.
But then you respond with another AI generated comment to their AI generated comment, saying, "Hey, that's a great comment."
That's how it works. That's called the circular slop dynamic.
That's right.
Circular slop dynamic? Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
The circular slop dynamic. Oh my God. Hurry,
it's the circle of slop.
The circle of slop. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, we can come up with
how long until it's actually true that Rob has an implant that is channeling AI, and everything he's coming is generated by AI, everything he's putting down.
How do we know that's not already happening?
That's right.
I mean, but you know what?
I already have Neuralink implants.
But here's the interesting thing about all this, like let's call it just the metaversey kind of stuff, because there is kind of a metaverse forming, and the alternative, let's say, digital or AI universe with all the prediction models or whatever, prediction markets and all this other shit. They can drift dramatically from reality. You have fake news, you have all this fraud, and all these bad actors that are now being enabled. Yeah. There can be a tremendous drift from actual reality, whether it's a societal reality or physical reality, climate, for instance. I mean, all these things, the digital view of all this stuff can be completely detached from reality at some point. And I guess the big, what's the correction mechanism, right? And I think that correction mechanism is like calamity of some sort, not natural calamity, human calamity. And that I think is one of the dangers of what's happening right now and what's getting accelerated, especially with this idea of prediction markets, where people now start to gamble on the future, right? That's literally what's happening. And then, people taking stakes on certain kind of outcomes and then creating gravity for that outcome to happen. I think about it, and over time, things will drift, right? Because those predictions and the fabricated outcomes, affected outcomes, can be completely detached from some core realities. And then when there's such a detachment, nasty stuff will inevitably happen, And I think that's one of the problems with what we're looking at right now is everybody loves to jump into these technologies. They don't look at the full life cycle maintenance of these things, right? Kind of like we don't give a crap about climate, right? We know that it's a problem that, our behaviors are detached from what we should do to address the problem. And now we suffer what we suffer now, which is...
I thought we weren't talking about climate change anymore. I thought that was not talking about it.
Oh, yeah. We're still not talking about it. Yeah, it's all fake news.
Fake news. It's not hot outside. There's not tornadoes in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's not happening.
Yeah, of course, this part of the transcript... is going to be probably something we regret in the future, because ChatGPT is going to surface it up as us being climate change deniers.
To your point, Pete, that's a big problem. Like when I'm thinking about this book that I have, and I'm thinking, who are the your ICP? Who's your ideal customer profile? Who are the customers of this book? And when you think, at least in the corporate world, there used to be departments and people who were focused on sustainability and climate, and they've all had net zero commitments and everything. And a lot of those people have gotten laid off now. And that when I go to, I'm not going to name the one giant computer company, when they had their sustainability person come out on stage and they go, and we're going to hit our net zero targets of 2050. And I'm just like, you should just get off the stage now.
2050.
The target was 2030. Yeah. 2050 means basically we're going to put it so far out there. I'm going to be retired. I'll be dead. I'm not going to be
the other dirty secret is they hit net zero targets by just buying credits. So they spend money to get their net zero targets. So they're not actually doing net zero. They're just paying for net zero.
Yeah, they're buying someone.
That's a whole other discussion. Hey guys, I apologize. I'm late, but I also need to leave early. I'm actually speaking at AMD this morning for that ML Systems Rising Stars program. So I need to scoot over there. I'm actually nearby at Huckleberry's restaurant, by the way. I'll give them 2 thumbs up.
Well, we'll want to hear about the FPGA differentiation or their so-called stuff at the edge.
I hope your AMD event is epic.
MI 455X, y'all.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks.
Hey, man.
Oh my gosh! Some other bad news that happened this week. I heard it.
Come on.
Yesterday, it was not tech related, but gosh, did you hear about the FIFA news yesterday that leaked out? Like secretly, whatever the guy's name is, the head of FIFA, who is kind of criminal. Yeah.
Infante. Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Yeah, but I've never heard anything good about him. But, even though YY loves to have him on stage with him at Lenovo events or whatever. Yeah. But he was trying to bring, they had a proposal almost to the finish line secretly behind the scenes of selling chunks of FIFA to private investors. But in order to do it, he needed either all the countries to say yes or some proportion of them say yes. And he was going to give $20 million to each country to vote yes to allow private investors to become involved in FIFA. And so you hear that, but what I heard first was all of Europe, all the countries in Europe said, hell no, we're not going to be involved in another FIFA event ever we're all of Europe's going to pull out, which was kind of, FIFA would kind of die if it wasn't for all the European soccer teams, for the most part. But it was horrible. And so, and then I guess, there's another consortium that's over here in the Americas. I forgot the name. But anyway, they said, we're not going to play ball. We'll leave FIFA as well if you do this. I've never heard anything good about that guy. He's
really terrible.
He's kind of slimy. I don't know. Anyway, that was some negative. Just to think that we just had this amazing summer here. With FIFA and soccer, it was so cool. And then to think that could be the last one that ever happens because of this guy just trying to get more money.
Okay, so now let's try to tie this back to IoT.
Or hairspray, right.
Yeah, or hairspray.
It's probably closer to hairspray.
Yeah. Yeah, that really sucks. And this is a really tough one to tie back to IoT. I'm sure they had a bunch in the stadiums to whether or not
absolutely,
we can tie it back to water,
right? But venues, all these things, infrastructure, trainers, training for the athletes. It's a big hit to the economy and build outs. For example, the Middle East, in preparing for the next FIFA event, I can't remember how many stadiums they're going to be building. Obviously, as you build new state-of-the-art buildings, they're all sensored up, and everyone's trying to use SoFi as kind of the benchmark for modern stadiums these days. Have you been to some of these new stadiums, like the new Crypto.com arena, where there's things in every seat? It's a different. I don't know if you're a purist of sitting out in the bleachers and not having any technology, or if you want
all been to the Sphere.
Yeah, but you also have to, and that's the other thing to consider is that some of these venues are multi-purpose, right? It's not just for the sport venue, but there's a lot of concerts and entertainment and other types of events that go through. And so when you look at like live performance, I mean, those types of features are really, probably things that, the tour would pay for, right? Especially if there's a level of consistency, so that it can provide an enhanced, spectator experience or a fan experience. So, yeah.
So you've been to a basketball game at Crypto.com Arena in LA, formerly known as Staples Center?
Yeah. How did that happen? Ugh. Okay. Anyway, but so I wouldn't be surprised in certain venues. Maybe not baseball stadiums. I mean, baseball stadiums usually get very heavily used by. They have so many games, right? They have like how many games? Like 80 XYZ.
180.
Yeah. 108. Yeah. Some ridiculous number of games, so they get well utilized. And rarely do you see. I mean, the only time I ever saw a concert in a baseball stadium was actually the Rolling Stones, believe it or not. Yeah.
I saw the Foo Fighters at the baseball stadium in Seattle a couple summers ago.
Oh, really?
I guess it's called T-Mobile Park these days. Yeah.
But with video games, with all the data, associated with us, the expectations when you go to one of these events is that you have data on everything. For FIFA, it was a connected ball. There was a sensor inside the ball, and it would, they could tell where the ball actually was, and it helped with offside. You go to a baseball game nowadays, and they show the strike zone, and you can do that replay. Before you were just kind of guessing. Who can watch a football game without those little lines that are drawn over the field?
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? You're bringing up some really interesting stuff, because this is like some shadow things that are happening, and I cover media in my research that people have given less attention to. but it's sort of the reinvention of live experiences, right? And like like for instance, F1. Oh, geez, it's incredible how the media formats and just level of innovation that's happening there is just like through the roof.
We're the title sponsor of the Indy series, and similar to, it's not F1, but it's all, everything's on par. But every car is censored up. So as soon as, for example, you press on the accelerated pedal, a signal goes to a broadcast booth that this car is about to make a move. Put the camera on that.
Yeah.
And we help some of the racers train, with sensors, and they've said, wow, some of the exercises I was doing, I found I was useless for what I need to do, because the G forces that you have. Yeah. So this technology is for good. It helps make the fan experience much better. And then when, what's the limit though? Before next AI will be driving these cars, and will that be fun to watch AI enhanced athletes and others compete?
Yeah, because it's like, what are those the battle robots or whatever? Now you see these,
I love that show.
Like what is it? The UFC for robots in China. It's funny, but I don't think you can watch that stuff all day, right? Maybe it can become at some point like e-gaming or e-games, right? But I think there's something about a human accomplishment and being able to relate to that versus engineered accomplishment, right?
They had that. Didn't they have that? What was the name of that sports where you could? All the people were on enhancement drugs.
Baseball, football.
They had.
Warner Brothers Saturday Night Live. They did something like the all-drug Olympics.
Yeah. This is an actual thing. Everyone could take, supplements, enhancements, steroids. What was the name?
Bodybuilding.
I just remember some bodybuilder thing on Saturday Night Live. He's like on steroids or whatever.
His arm falls off.
Yes, his arm falls off, and they go, and he's on some some kind of fish paralyzer.
You're funny. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It is called the Enhanced Games.
The Enhanced Games.
Enhanced Games, May 24. 42 athletes from 24 countries competing in track, swimming, strength events without any anti-doping restrictions.
Really?
Right.
So what is the league called? Geared?
That's awesome.
Oh, geez.
But with the influx of technology, and you talk about Neuralink and all the things that will be implanted, those that won't have it will be at an unfair advantage in the future.
Yeah. Right.
And so and even if we regulate it in the West, other countries may not regulate it. So are we at an unfair disadvantage?
Could be.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have like the Khan Noonien Singh league at some point where everyone is genetically engineered. They're using CRISPR to
but it's like now, you can take some tests and bring a calculator in to do the tests. Before, you had to memorize everything, or now you can bring your laptop as or a take on open book tests.
Yes.
So really, what is the unfair advantage? Because now we're using AI in everything that we do. We're using analytics to help give information. Is that the baseline?
Well, see, that's the thing that's interesting about like F1 and GP Sale, or the thing that Oracle or Larry Ellison created, where everything is standard.
Yeah. And
you have to use standard designs with specs for all the boats in GP Sale, and same with F1, and so it's all about taking that. It's like 3GPP, you can maybe tweak how you implement stuff slightly for engineering advantage, but you have to stick with the tech spec, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even in our day-to-day lives, try driving a car without a backup camera, without sonars, without GPS, without blind spot detection, and it's going to continue to advance and advance to the level 3 self-autonomous driving.
That's a good point. Then, you know how like there's these non-negotiables when you're looking at a car. It's like it has to have this feature, or I'm not even like my wife when she was looking for a new car. It's like it has to have that 360 backup deal where I can see around my car, or I'm not interested.
Yeah. And the cars parallel park themselves now. So, I think a lot of drivers ed, they don't even bother teaching the kids.
Yeah.
That was always the hardest part of the driver's test was parallel parking.
Yeah, but then wait
especially if you didn't grow up in a city.
Yeah, but then wait until you rent a stick shift car in Europe, like a Fiat, a tiny little Fiat that's like totally old school, and you have to drive through like the streets of Toledo.
That's how you're gonna. That's how
they're not even streets. They're like
that's how we're safe from young people today. Is they don't know how to drive a stick. So
they don't drive. Maybe that's why it's really safe. They don't. I mean, you don't learn the basics, right? You're tech dependent.
I love dumb criminal stories, like when someone tries to steal a car and it's a stick shift. And they're like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
I love stick shift. Man,
yeah, I do too.
I really love driving stick shift cars, and
you feel like you're more a part of the car. You
drive. I mean,
unless you're in stop and go traffic,
that sucks. You're right. That does suck.
That does kind of suck.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
But otherwise, it's awesome.
Or a very steep hill like you would have in Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, especially if you have to parallel park.
Yes.
In San Francisco, like you're saying, what's that street that's like 40?
Yeah.
40 grade or whatever.
I have memories of having a stick shift in the 90s in Seattle and downtown. And you're right. You got and you're at a stoplight behind people, and you've got your foot on the brake and the clutch at the same time, and then you're going. I mean, because you're going to slide backwards, right, into the car behind you, and it was scary.
This has been fun. I have to drop.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up. So, hey, everyone, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed the random conversation here. Devin is the bravest man in the world. I can't believe
you guys are
coming back for the beatings. But no, it's great having you on again. You are a regular now. I mean, if you make it past 3, geez, you're
it's true.
You're part of
not scared off yet.
It's like you posted Saturday Night Live 3 times, you're kind of.
Yeah. So remember, we're all about the communities. Elevate communities at www.elevatecommunities.org. And it's a charity that we sponsor to save the planet, right? With Rob's massive book, which uses a lot of trees because it's hardcover and letter formatted pages.
Doesn't sound very sustainable. I don't know.
Yeah, not a very sustainable book for
uses.
Yeah. So anyways, remember to follow us at www.iotcoffeetalk.com, and we're here every week. Rain, shine, whatever.
Fire,
hurricane, tornado, we're there. We make it happen. So we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Adios.
Thanks, everyone.
Crazy train.